So I'm doing a project on why gender-affirming care should not be banned. Gender-affirming care is any sort of medical care that makes someone feel more comfortable in their body. Whether that be someone getting a surgery to make their body look different, or taking hormone therapy to alter themselves. Many people think gender-affirming care is exclusive to transgender people, but that is not the case. Cisgender individuals, people who identify with their given gender at birth, often take hormones and get surgeries too. Some boys or men may develop a condition called gynecomastia, which is where the male will develop breast tissue like a female. Gynecomastia can make these guys feel very uncomfortable in the bodies, so they seek out surgeries to remove the extra tissues. This is similar to a trans man, an individual assigned female at birth, who now identifies as a man, getting his breast tissue removed because he cannot comfortably live life. Cisgender women could also be uncomfortable with the size of their breasts, whether that be they're too small or too big for them. So they will go through surgery as well. Along with these breast augmentations, people of any gender may want to make their face look different, to have a smaller nose, to make their chin more defined, or just to have less skin. There is another surgery many people think about when it comes to gender-affirming care, and it's genital reconstruction. While this is one of the least common gender-affirming surgeries, it still happens, so we gotta talk about it. So, people who get this surgery are again not happy with how their body is, and this is not exclusive to transgender individuals. An example is a man who loses a testicle, possibly due to cancer. He may want to get a prosthetic one in place so he's more comfortable with how his body is. However, this is mainly thought of in the way that turns someone's penis into a vagina, or their vagina into a penis. Many people who do not take my side during this argument are worried that children are getting these surgeries, but there are many policies put in place against it. The child must be a certain age if they are a minor, and they must have parental consent to get the care. Along with parental consent, there is therapy documentation on why gender-affirming care for this individual would be a good option into improving their life. Another common type of gender-affirming care is hormone replacement therapy. This therapy is the individual taking a set of hormones to alter how their endocrine system produces hormones. The process to get this care is less rigorous because this care is more easily reversible than a surgery. Without gender-affirming care, people have higher levels of depression and anxiety. A survey done by the Trevor Project in 2020 found that 54% of transgender people surveyed reported having seriously considered suicide in the last year, and 29 have made an attempt to end their lives. After receiving gender-affirming care, these transgender individuals reported less symptoms of depression and anxiety. So not only is gender-affirming care good for transgender people, but it also is very important to the cisgender people who may want to access it. I've talked to two of my transgender friends on their experiences with gender-affirming care. Here are their stories. I first asked them to start with their name, what kind of gender-affirming care they would be provided, and when they sort of realized they were transgender, because that could affect the gender-affirming care they could have received. I also asked when they decided that the care would be better and be good for them to get, because some people may want to wait later in life to receive the care. And finally, I asked what are some ways that gender-affirming care made their life better. The first person I asked wrote me a little paragraph for me to read out. They said, "My name is Inia, and I have received both a hormone blocking implant as well as hormone replacement therapy. I am unsure when I figured out I was not cisgender, but I know the major questioning was very prevalent during middle school. I realized after starting high school that the way my body was shaped, especially my face, made me very unhappy, and the distribution of my body fat was very much not to my liking. With that, I knew the best option for me would be getting gender-affirming care. Gender-affirming care has made my own self-image way better, as well as it made me feel like I'm being a more authentic person when interacting with others. It goes beyond the physical into the mental, with hormonal shifts affecting my brain chemistry in a way that makes me feel more like myself.
Hi, my name's Harper, and I'm a 27-year-old trans woman from Minnesota. Hair removal as well as gender affirming hormone therapy. I realized that I was transgender about 3 years ago, um, and it was over COVID. I was very introspective at the time, just very isolated, and I feel like that really gave me the time to find myself and really find my identity and who I truly was and not who the world was telling me. I had been telling myself up until that point that I'm gonna figure my career out and then I'll figure myself out. And I didn't know what that meant for myself, but it became really obvious once I realized that I was transgender. I realized that gender affirming care would be good for me about a year after realizing that I was genderqueer in any way. I had come out as non-binary and had lived with that identity for about a year, and it still just didn't feel like it was the correct fit for me. And so after some discussion with my wonderful wife, we realized that gender affirming care and transitioning more binary was the correct path for me. Gender affirming care has truly changed my life. I was a very depressed I was a very depressed person before starting my gender affirming care. It's made my relationship with my wife better. I feel like we're closer together, and now that I love myself, it's truly that much easier to love someone else. I feel like the time that we spend together is just that much better, and um, I feel like that comes from like my mental health being in a much better place, and like I said, being able to love myself now so that I can provide that love back to my partner. It's also started to give me the body that I want and some of the like those physical changes that I've wanted. I like how I look now, and I'm excited to share that with people. And so I had never posted myself on social media, like pictures of myself really, but now it's basically the only thing that I can do because I'm kind of obsessed with myself. One other thing that had a really big impact on me was when I started my hormone therapy. I felt like the weight was lifted off my brain. There was like this brain fog that I had been living through, and I just felt so disconnected from my emotions and just from the world. And now that I've started my hormone therapy and have been on it for about a year, I can say that my brain works better. I am more creative again, and that's really important with the kind of work that I do as a video professional.